Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I have this IBM 3650 Model 2 that I just put new processors in, and today I want to see if I can run the new Microsoft Server 2016. It was just released this week actually, so I want to see how it performs on a server like that. And I had to reinstall this anyway because this is running ESXi 5.1. I'm probably gonna put back a newer ESXi when I'm done, but I wanted to try and install the new Microsoft Server on a piece of iron. So we're gonna try that. Okay, I have connected to the server's management adapter, or on this model it's called the IMM, Integrated Management Module. Oh, it says it right up here, Integrated Management Module. And in here it's possible to make a remote control to the server, and I've done so. Why it's not showing there. So let's minimize this. And here I see what the screen is showing in the data center. So if I press that, I'll get the yellow screen and the gray screen, and we don't need this. But before I shut this down, I want to put a CD in the CD-ROM drive of this server, and to do that we go up under Tools and we can launch a virtual media, and we'll do that. That pops up over here, and that makes it possible for me to mount an ISO file to the server from wherever I am in the world, as long as I'm connected to the server. So I can add an image here, and I will go to my download directory because I just picked those up yesterday. There we have Windows 16, 64. One of these, they're absolutely alike. I downloaded one standard and one Datacenter, but apparently that's the same package. So I probably did waste a bit of time there, but we'll take that one. That will be fine then. We will map that and we will mount select it. Now it's the same thing as going out there and putting a CD or a DVD in the drive. So now we can boot this thing. So I will press F12 is the one to press to be able to shut this down. There. And what do I want to do? I want to shut down. F2. And the server will be shutting down and it will be booting, and I will tell it to boot from the CD-ROM drive when it gets that far. Okay, the server is booting, and this is just about where I press F12 to use the CD-ROM/DVD drive. There, and let's see if it won't boot. Press any key. I think we'll do that. There, what does it say? We can choose the operating system or press... Okay, we'll just try that one. Windows setup. Sounds fair. And we get a really wonderful progress bar in the bottom here. They're always so exciting. I would really like them to invent something. I would like to be able to play Space Invaders while they're loading files. In the good old days, that could be done. I remember we had a gaming console at home when I was a child. Like, that was the Commodore 64 at the time, and well, some of the games, they were really long and they were on tape drives. But it started out by loading a little Space Invaders game, and you could play that while it was loading the big game. And sometimes we would just stop the tape drive because the Space Invaders was sometimes better than the game. The files are being loaded from my computer and out to the server, so this takes a little bit. So we get the first little bit of choices. I'll minimize that. Don't need to see that anymore. So, language to install. I think there is only English here, yeah. Time zone. I'm in Denmark, so I'll choose Danish. And that's about what I want. Next, and install. And I'm curious if we get the choices of Datacenter and standard now. That would make sense. License key. Oh, who saw that one coming? I do have a product key for this, but let's see if we can install it without the product key. There. Let's see if it... Well, we can still go. It will just want the product key later. I'm pretty sure of that. So here we can get the Server 2016 standard, or we can get the standard with a desktop experience. We can get Datacenter, or we can get Datacenter with desktop experience. Yeah, if you install the Datacenter version, I will take the standard, but I would like the desktop experience. Yeah, I like that one. Next, it might want to put it on a drive somewhere. The server had 3 hard drives in it. I think they might be in a RAID 5. Oh, license agreement. Be quick. Yep, that's so true. Now we can upgrade. I don't think it can upgrade from ESXi 5.1.0, so we'll take the custom and install. Oh, and we have a lot of hard drives here. I should probably have formatted this crap before starting. Well, I'll try and delete all this, and we'll see if it wanna play with me when I'm done with that. Yes. My experience is often that when you tamper with these, it don't want to play with you until you boot it the next time. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't much of a problem. Cool. I did check if there was anything on that ESXi server that I needed, and I found that there was nothing there that I did not have a copy of. It just went from 0% to 100% without a glitch. That was quick. And now it's getting files ready for installation, and it's 1% done with that. So that's a bit weird, getting files ready for installation. It's not installing them, it's just getting the files ready, you know. And exactly the same thing we're seeing out here at the computer. Now it's just finishing the installation, and we can try and do the next little bit from out here. Finishing up. That's a big part of that progress bar, finishing up. Wonder how long that takes. Just about there. Okay, you want to reboot now? Probably not much to see on the server itself. It's just gonna reboot here, and that usually takes a while too. So let's go back to the computer. And we're just about here. What I'm really curious to see if Windows 2016 finds all the drivers in it. Well, it's becoming a fairly old IBM server, the 3650 Model 2. So it's gonna be fun to see how much of that it finds. And if I'm able to run it without having put it in the activation code or license key. Oh, and it just booted. I hope it did that on purpose and not just died. Okay, so it's booted once more, and it wants a password. I was foreseeing this. And I've given it my good old password. Finish that. And it will finalize the settings, okay? And we're in. Control-Alt-Delete is not a command that you can use on the keyboard, because my PC will respond to that. And well, so there's a little point up here where I can put in that command. Locking in for the first time. And it will probably be complaining about there not being a license. I think I have 3 days or something for putting that in. Okay, we're in. It doesn't look very good on the screen here. As you can clearly see, the colors are bad. Blah, 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 network. Yes, thank you. So it must have a network card. It might be the graphics card. Let's see. Advanced graphics settings. That might be it. So there is not much of a graphics card in a server like that. So, yeah. 1024 times 700 and color management. Oh. Okay, we're not gonna bother with that. And the server manager starts up. That's fine for now. You can actually turn that off under server manager properties. And here you can say, do not start server manager automatically when log on. Okay, and get rid of that. Cool. Let's go and see how many of my devices it's missing. Actually, we could go through the server manager and tools and computer manager. Close that down. Computer manager and device manager. It will probably have some. Does it really not have anything that I don't know what is? Let's see. Graphics adapter. Microsoft Basic Graphics Adapter. Okay. IDE. See some stuff there. Okay. Processors. Oh, it sees a lot of processors. That's both the cores and hyperthreading, if I'm not much mistaken. Storage controllers. What do we see? We see it has a Megarate SAS adapter. Cool. Microsoft Storage Space controller. And it has two QLogic fiber channel adapters. Yes, those are in there too. So we are kind of, it's not missing anything. There should be a bunch of network cards as well. There are, and the QLogic ones are there again. Gigabit cards. Funny thing that they are there twice. Bit weird. Let's check the network settings somewhere. See what that sees. And change adapter settings. Oh, we have a lot of network cards here. I think the two that are located on the motherboard. How can there be that many? Oh, there is this USB thing from the IBM adapter. That's a special one. Then it adds up. There are 4. There were 2 PCI cards with each 2 network ports. So that must be these Intel Pro 1000 cards. And then there is the built-in ones in the server, and it sees those as QLogic BCM gigabit. Let's see if it has internet. It has some internet. It did find that. So there's tons of pages that it wants approval for when you do that. So we're not gonna go through all of those. Awesome. I think I wanna see if I can get my icons. Oh yeah, there is the activate Windows now. Wonder how long we have to do that. Let's see if we go in this way and right click computer and properties. It will bother us down here. Activate Windows. No, it's not telling us right now how long I have to do that. But at some point it will be bothering me more and more, and well, maybe it will actually not work at some point. This is kind of fun. 2.79 gigahertz. Interesting. But it's Windows Server 2016. We have 64 gigs of RAM. Not much trouble anyway. That was quick as hell. Oh, I need to activate Windows before I can personalize your computer. Okay, so I might have to do that then. Activate Windows now. It cannot activate because I haven't given it a product key. Okay, so I'll have to put in the product key here, which I do have. So I'll be right back when I've put that in. Okay, I put in the product key and it's now ready to activate. So let's try and press next. It's really irritating that you're not able to cut and paste. That would have been so nice. By activating Windows, you get the best experience. We activated this copy of Windows. Close. Okay, Windows is activated. Product key, blah, 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 blah. Nice. So now I think I can go and change how this looks. Settings. There. Yeah, now I can put in themes and background and do all the personal bits and bytes that I would really love to on my 2016 server, which we of course do on all our servers. Put in fancy backgrounds like this. It's so nobody does that, I hope. But well, we're just looking at it, right? Nah. Let's go back to the original one. Okay, that's fine. Let's I want to do a little bit of a speed test on this. So I wonder if this version of Windows can do that. Let's see. It doesn't brag about it. It's usually up here where you can have Windows tell you how fast this system is. Okay, I'll go to my shared storage and get some benchmarking stuff for us. Okay, I have moved over performance test 8.0 from Passmark. And we will start this, and I'll be back to you when the results are in, because this is rather boring watching this. So I'm just gonna test all. It's probably not gonna be able to run some of the 2D, 3D graphics stuff, so I'm not gonna bother with that, but it is actually able to run the 3D test, but it's slow as hell. It's some built-in matrix card that is on the system board, and well, 2.8 frames per second, maybe 3 on a good day. It's not impressive. 2 frames per second, 1.5 frame per second. That's why these computers are not really meant for gaming. So the server will get a really bad score because the graphics will really draw it down into the dirt. Okay, it's complaining about my CD-ROM drive, DVD drive. I don't know if it's still connected. It's still connected over here, so we'll just unmount that and tell it to retry. Okay, and the computer gets a score of 500.3. That's really low. But we get a lot of compute power out of it, 11,614. That's reasonable. 2D graphics is bad. 3D graphics is really bad. Memory is okay. Disk performance is not great. Do remember that this server is 7-8 years old, so it's not doing bad compared to that. In my last video I showed you that you could buy a server like this for $480 on Amazon. You might be able to find it even cheaper somewhere else, so that's not bad. Let's get rid of this. What was that, 11? I also got this Cinebench and wanted to try that, and I did start it down here, so that's of course also running. So let's run a CPU test on that, see how that works here on Windows 2016. That looks fairly good. Okay, 1283, which is pretty awesome. Actually, that's a little bit better than what they think it should get. It sees the operating system as 2012, so Cinebench R15 does not recognize server 2016 yet. I did not download the newest version, so that might also be why. I just got the one that I had laying around already. Well, the picture looks a little bit better out here on the monitor in the Datacenter, so the bad picture quality is probably because of the IBM adapter in the server, but Server 2016 works really well on this server. I could probably go searching for drivers for different stuff to get a performance increase. I did see that there was a graphics card driver that I might get some more out of the graphics card, but well, you usually don't need the graphics card for anything on a server. Oh, it went down a little bit, but still within margin of error here. Well, that was a try on installation server 2016 on a piece of metal, and that was pretty uneventful. Kind of boring actually, it just worked. Well, kind of a thumbs up for that, right? So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.